We were, we were well aware of the fact that we were falling into a story of Huckleberry Finn, but there didn't seem to be any other way out of this dilemma of not knowing where we were. I mean, we knew roughly where we were, but we just didn't know how to get out of there. So it was about 5 o'clock in the evening. I think Brian's watch was still working at that time. And we started collecting driftwood, and we had a long rope for tying up our food, so we used that long rope to tie up all our driftwood together. And when we tied up all the driftwood, we also found a couple of, what would they be, 2 by 12 planks from an old cabin that had been rotted away, and we found also 4 nails that we could hammer in with rocks into the driftwood. And then on this raft we sat and with a couple of sticks pushed ourselves out into the lake, and we paddled with our sticks for a bit, but luckily the wind was going the right direction and it was blowing gently. There was we had enough wood underneath us to support us from the water, so we were 6 inches above the water, but it was cold and it was misty, rainy, and it was actually uncomfortable enough that we didn't even bother talking to each other. We just figured, okay, we'll sit on this and see what happens. And we sat there on that raft, probably not talking after the first half hour till the next morning, and that we sat there on that raft for 12 hours with the cold wind, wet wind, blowing at us, and we had all the clothes on that we could possibly put on, but still we were cold. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, our bodily functions made us want to get off the raft, and of course we wanted to stand up and stretch our legs and whatnot, but so we did. We paddled our way to shore again, took the rope off the raft, and then it was a raft no more. And then we walked on up the hill, and the sun was blasting down on us like it was a new day. It was a new day, and the day before it just seemed to be cooked away by the sun. And we walked in through the woods and found a little river with fresh drinking water where we washed ourselves and had some drank a lot of water. And we also had 1 box of instant scalloped potatoes, which we cooked up and ate, and we thought we were having a lot of fun, which I think if you ate the same stuff at home you would think to throw it in the garbage. But when you're hungry and you're up on a mountain, then you don't care and you're happy to get it. So we ate that, and we were both completely exhausted, so we just lied down there right at that very spot underneath some pine trees, so it was comfortable enough. And underneath my head was a nice round rock like you would have used in the Bible story. I think Abraham, or maybe even before Abraham, they were going from place to place, and the guy was always taking a rock to put under his head. But it just looked like a pillow, and I laid down flat on my back, went to sleep, and I don't know how long we slept, but it was definitely a few hours, because we hadn't slept all the night on the raft, because you couldn't fall asleep while you're sitting up, and the last thing you want to do is fall in the lake. So eventually the sun was right over our heads, even though we were under the trees, so it wasn't uncomfortably hot, but it was bright enough that we woke up. And when I woke up, my body didn't wake up. It was asleep from my head to my toes, and I couldn't feel anything. And I started concentrating on focusing on any kind of movement at all, and started moving like a fish maybe, and it took me about 8 minutes and 34 seconds to get all the feeling back in my body. And it felt like the only way for it to happen was to have somebody sticking needles in everywhere. And it was quite a nice experience to finally find my body again. And then we stood up and walked on. And we came to the end of a road which was coming into the woods. We came out of the woods and came to the end of the woods, and there was a road there that went to the next city or the next town, and we passed a farm, and it looked like we were going to have a long walk ahead of us, and the just as luck seemed to have it for us, suddenly a pickup truck was going by who had already picked up somebody, and he said, "Get in the back," or did we get in the front? I don't know. We threw our stuff in the back. No, I think we got in the back because there was already somebody up front. And suddenly we were back in the comfort zone again, and we went into town. Somebody drove us there. The one truck that there's probably 2 trucks that passed them each week, and we got there about 8 minutes before he came, and he took us right into town. And the first thing we did was buy 6 donuts and 12 cookies. And after we ate them, we went and washed our clothes, and we might have even went into a hostel or a hotel that night and said, "That's enough for one night. We're going to take it easy and sleep in a bed." But we were back in the woods the next night.